In C# 6, you can declare static classes and methods different than in previous versions of C#. So when you initiate an object associated with the static class, you can utilize a using statement to associate in the top of your class file that associates a static identifier, and you don't have to put in the object initiation the static class. So I'm going to demonstrate this by creating inside of my models folder a new class. So I'm going to go add new item. I'm going to click class, and then I'm going to put static 6. And inside of that, I'm going to click add. And then I'm going to put an identifier of static on this class. And then I'm going to go in here and create a method that's a static method, public static void. I'm going to make it a void, my first static. And inside of this, I'm going to open and close that. And I have my method initiated right there. And what you can do is typically in previous versions, let's do a comment, C# 5 and below, you would implement console.writeLine, and you will put some text there. Let's just put text. And you would implement this method right here, which is on the console class, and then you'd implement the writeLine method, which is a void, to associate on the console class collection. And then you just write out some text. So this is typically how you would do it before. But in C# 6, it has a nice feature associated with this. So let's put C# 6. And let's just comment out this. So I can go up here, Visual Studio, put comment out. I can put right here, using static system.console. And I can utilize that class associated with a static in front of it. So then when I write out here, instead of putting console.writeLine, I can do writeLine. And then I can implement whatever I want from this. So let's just put text again. And once I implement that, notice how I don't have to type the console to associate with the writeLine method. I have implemented up here in my using namespace static system.console. You can use the static reference to associate with your collection class in your using statements at the top of your class file. And then instead of having to identify console.writeLine, in this case, you can just put writeLine. Let me just type here static. And now that we have this class associated with static 6, if I go to one of my controllers over here, and I'm going to create a new controller. I'm going to go add new item. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to type C# 6 new. And now I'm just going to have this right here. And what I can do from that is inside of my index view, if I come up to my using namespace, I can utilize the models folder. So I can go using course project dot models dot, I can have that first, and then I can come in there and I can say using, if I want to go to a specific class, course project dot models, and then I can associate with my static 6 here. It's going to identify the static associated with my using collection class up here in my using statement. And then what I can do, if I go back to my static 6, what is my method? My first static. So I can come into my index view. I don't have to initiate anything. I can just say my first static. And look at that. It's implemented inside of my index view. So this is utilizing the static 6 class and method my first static. As you can see right there, I don't have to create an instance of the object. It's a static class utilizing a static method. If I identify in my using statements at the top static and associate where it's located, this class file, course project.models.static6, I can just call the method and I do not have to identify where it's located at. Now, if I took out the static statement, and then I would have to associate it as my previous versions of C# are. And here I would have to remove this, and then I'll take out this using statement right there. And then it associates back to how I would implement statics in previous versions of C#. This is a very nice feature in C# 6. Make sure that you always have that static identifier inside of that, and then you can implement your statics this way. I want to thank you for joining me in this lecture. Have a nice day.